Hey everybody, welcome back to another 5-minute recruiting episode here on PRI Talk. Today, answering the question from you about an offer. And Jason, how long do we have to accept an offer? Jason, what is the typical timeline once we are given an offer from a school? Okay, there's a bunch of different variations of how this question comes in. Typically, what will happen is you are at a school on a visit. At the end of the visit, go into the coaching office. They sit down with you and family and the coaching staff, and they say, here's our offer. Here's what we want to give you. We'd love to have you part of our program. Here's the offer we're giving you. And there we go, okay, which is great. It's always great to get an offer. The timeline that you get is going to be dictated on usually their timeline. Sometimes your timeline has something to do with it, and we'll get into that here in just a second. But typically it has to do with their timeline. Now, if a coach or a school is giving you 48 hours or less, I don't like that. I think it's really inappropriate for coaches to give you only a couple days to make a decision, especially if they're only giving you 24 hours, especially if they're forcing you to make a decision before you even leave campus. I don't like either of those situations. And I think that typically coaches that force athletes to make a decision in less than 24 hours or before they leave campus, those coaches typically aren't at those schools for very long. That's just my experience. And if you are in a situation where a college coach is giving you 24 hours or less to make a decision, please tell someone. Tell your club director, club coach, whoever it is, because someone needs to call that college coach and find out what's going on. The timeline that you're given after you're given an offer is going to mostly be dictated and determined by the school's timeline. It could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, could be 2 months, 3 months, depending on where we are in the process. Usually those offers are given until another athlete is coming on campus that they are going to offer. Okay, so just one scenario, you're visiting a school on the first weekend of the month, and then they have another athlete coming the third weekend of the month. You have 2 weeks to make a decision before they're offering the other athlete. Now, whether your offer goes away as soon as they offer the other athlete, or if maybe they have two offers hanging out there and whichever says yes to it first. I don't necessarily like the second option there, but 2 weeks is fairly normal. The way that can change in some ways is if you have other visits set up. Okay, so you're going on a visit the first week of the month. You are going on another visit 3 weeks from now, or maybe the last weekend of the month, you have a second visit lined up. Usually college coaches, especially if you've communicated that to them, are understanding and, hey, you need to visit more than one school. That's always a really good idea. Or you have this visit set up, go on the visit, make a good decision, okay? Typically schools will give you an opportunity to visit another school or get your other visits done, whatever that looks like, before they give you a deadline, a specific date that they need an answer one way or the other, or the offer goes off the table, or they're offering someone else, whatever that situation is. But it's going to vary from school to school. Okay, some coaches are okay with, hey, take 3 months or take the summer, or right now where we are in April, an offer lasting as long as until camp is really fair at this point, and might even be a little bit long as far as letting that offer stand. I've had several athletes say yes to an offer within 24 hours without giving them that sort of timeline, right? Had an athlete, on campus, and then the next day they were saying yes, which is great when they do. But if college coaches, again, are forcing you into that, I was in a situation I was not forcing them to make a decision in 24 hours. They just really wanted to be there, which was awesome. So that timeline is going to be dictated by the coaching staff and what they have going on, and then somewhat as far as what you also have going on, okay? Could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks, but they will communicate that, hopefully. It's usually, here's our offer, here's how long you have to make a decision. That should be part of the communication. If it isn't immediately a part of the communication, definitely ask the question, how long do we have? When do you need us to make a decision? Okay. If you have other visits, other visits planned, you definitely want to communicate that to the college coaches that you are on a visit with, so that they also know what your timeline looks like. Okay. Again, I'm an advocate for communication and being honest about where you are in the process. I think that's really important. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. If not, let me know, and I will try to answer it again or answer it a different way.